Hello YouTube, I am Southern Wolverine and this is Shogun 2 Total War. This is 1 versus 1 action. It's actually a siege assault. And on my new computer, I didn't bring my old avatars over, so I'm just starting over fresh. So this is my new general, my new avatar. And he's got an army of rookies and low-level troops to command. So, as it's a castle assault, I have mostly bows and swords. So I got 2 bow ashgaru over here, some sword attendants, and katana samurai over here. I believe I have 4 katana samurai spread out across the sides, a couple of lone sword ashgaru, some bulletproof samurai, just because I was trying to get some veteran units in there, so I had to use the DLC kind of units. And the other half of my forces over here. So we've got Waco Raiders, the other couple of Katana Samurai, 2 Bow Ashgaru, and a Daikyu Samurai, and 2 more Lone Swords and 2 more Sword Attendants. So the plan here is basically to attack this gate and to get on the opposite side and just work my way up the fort 1 level at a time. Now the opposing army has chosen an interesting defensive technique that I'm not sure I would use myself or recommend to anyone else. He has all cavalry units inside here, which seemed like an odd move. He's got a couple of light cav over here. He's got several units of bow cavalry spread around. Some of them are actually on the walls, dismounted. You see this unit has already been dismounted. And some Yari cavalry as well. So here's 2 units of dismounted bow cavalry in here, which it's kind of expensive for an understrength bow unit. I don't know why you wouldn't just take bow samurai or something. But in any case, so I saw that these horse banners, and I was concerned that he was just going to come rushing out with everything and just sort of bull rush one of my groups at a time. And I don't have very many spears. I have that 1 unit of bulletproof samurai, and I think that's it for spears in my entire army. So I was concerned about that. So I started to reform like this. But he ended up not coming out, so don't entirely understand the strategy. But in any case, so my battle plan then must go forward. I suppose perhaps he just wanted to, have a mass attack going, or not mass attack, but a quick reaction within the castle. Now, I did not realize right away that this fort had cannons built into the walls, so I'm gonna keep taking some hits for a while here before I realize exactly what's going on. I heard this big thundering noise, and I'm like, man, did he manage to hide a unit of heavy gunners somewhere or something? So yeah, it was a little bit of a surprise. They're not going to end up doing a lot of damage to me, but it is going to sort of give you a move. You see the nice track marks where these cannonballs are bouncing. So unfortunately, he's shooting at Ashgaru with these. You don't have control over those batteries. They just shoot at whatever's in front of them. So the sword attendants and the bow ashgaru are units I don't mind taking much damage from that sort of thing. So I'm just going to move them up and have them try to secure that first level first. And I'm basically going to hold my katana troops back for as long as I can so that they're fresh for the final push into the center. So the sword attendants are going to lead the attack. This unit here is going to try to light this gatehouse on fire and open a path for my stronger units, even though their torches are falling way short. I guess they are actually doing something. So those cannons actually aren't doing even all that much damage. They're intimidating, but they're not really doing a whole lot. So this unit's going to go ahead and climb. I was hoping there was a way that I could climb up here and turn these guns off, but I'm not sure that actually works. And the same basic pattern is going to happen over here. We're going to bring in the bow ashgaru and the sword attendants first, try to open the way for everybody else, and the katana samurai and the lone swords and such are coming in behind along with my general. So I'm going to stop these guys here and bring up the sword attendants to burn the gate. And just trying to wear these guys down. So you see we're starting to shoot those guys up. Now the bow cavalry that's dismounted here is starting to shoot my sword attendants. So these guys are going to have a bit of a rough time, but that's one of the reasons I took them. They're cheap. I can put them into action first. They can climb the walls against bow units. They can turn down the gates and not cost me a lot. So that's basically why they're in here. And now these light cavalry are going to respond and that's not going to be great news for the sword attendants. Even light cavalry, especially with the charge, is going to be able to take these guys down. And they'd already taken damage from missiles, so that's going to be one dead unit, unfortunately. But this gate is burned. The doors are open, so I'm able to bring in more units. So the other unit of sword attendants over here is coming in. And I've moved the bows up close enough to the wall where they can not only engage these guys, but soon they're almost in range of these bow cavalry. I believe the Daikyu samurai should be able to reach them from the ground if they move just a little bit closer. So same pattern over here, except this force is not being opposed at the moment. This bow cavalry unit has moved into position. They were over here somewhere. They're dismounted. I forget where they ended up. We'll see them in a minute. Maybe that's them right there. So same pattern here. Doors open. Just going to send in a lot of the swords, and in this case the bows are actually going to come up inside here as well, so they can get and shoot up onto these guys. The other thing I want to prioritize is, move slow, be patient, and try to capture these towers, because if I capture a tower it's going to fight for me, of course, so I can work my way up there and let that tower damage the enemy as much as possible. Since I can tell he's got these cavalry units, and I'm the attacker anyway, so I have more points, more money. So I'm going to have a significant numerical advantage, and I don't want to jeopardize that by throwing units away. Now in this case I do have these lone swords come and scale the wall. This is still sort of a sacrificial unit, not quite as sacrificial as these fleeing sword attendants who are actually returning to the fight. But I'm trying to keep pressure on these units, and if I can get these guys up into these bows and keep them from shooting at me, that will be a major benefit for me. But these lone swords are going to pay the price. And I knew that when I set them up here. Just trying to keep the pressure on while I capture this lower level. And they're taking fire instead of my samurai while I capture this tower and burn down this gate. So that's the next two things that are going to happen here. I believe the Waco Raiders and these lone swords are going to come burn this gate down. So bit by bit, trying to work in. You see we've got quite a few losses here from bow fire. These light cavalry dismounted to fight my lone swords, which I don't entirely understand.
We have captured their tower, my lord.
Maybe he thought they were Yari Ashgaru, or perhaps he was trying to get them to the wall before I got there or something. But these guys would definitely have been better off mounted. I think they could have got a much better charge bonus. So my lone swords are actually going to rout those guys and pretty much destroyed the unit in any case. So now this tower is under my control, this gate is burning, and I'm trying to do the same thing over here. You see I had another unit of sword attendants climb the wall, and they got engaged by these light cavalry who are going to start taking missile fire in a moment because these archers just got set up. So yes, I'm going to hit some of my own sword attendants, but these light cavalry are larger targets, so I'll hit probably more of them anyway, and they're actually worth more than my sword attendants in any case. So this light cavalry unit's at about half strength. And I'm doing the same thing over here. We're going to have some sword attendants go over here and capture, and we'll have a couple units burn down this gate. So this side is lagging a little bit behind the other side, but putting good pressure on from both angles here. And now I've got my archers moved up inside the wall on this side as well, and they're able to put fire up onto these dismounted bow cavalry. My lone swords are starting to climb up there. They got into them a little bit. I think some of them got up the wall. But they couldn't take that much more, and I think they're going to rout in a moment. They're obviously wavering. So in any case, good progress. We got a lot of burning gates here as we're gradually pushing in. So as soon as this is down, which it is now down, it took me a minute to realize that I was doing things on the other side. I'm just going to start running all these sword troops up inside here to continue the attack. And now those archer units inside the gate over here are shooting at these bow cavalry manning this gate. So we're just going to try to wear them down. Of course, they got good protection from the fortifications. But that's really just to keep them busy and keep them from attacking my sword units who are going to deliver the killing blow. So same thing, now this gate's down, we're going to have some units climb the walls and more of them come through the door here as the mass assault begins, or continues I suppose. I do like the fire effects going on, even though this game's a couple years old now. Still gives you a nice atmosphere A little bit cartoony with all the sparks maybe, but it definitely works. So the skirmish fight's continuing and my swords are pushing up into this side as well. So we got a nice mass attack. I'm trying to give my opponent here two choices. He can't contribute this whole fight against everything. And I've got this tower now as well as the one on the far side. And this unit of bulletproof samurai climbed the wall while all that was going on and captured this tower. So only that other one on that far side is still in his hands. These guys are taking quite a bit of bow fire, but if they're bulletproof, that should protect them against bows, right? Yeah? Not really, apparently. So we're going to try to take this gate down too. Just get access on every side. So I've got my Waco Raiders, I believe, no, some lone swords climbing this wall. And I'm going to bring the rest of these troops around. Some will climb here, and some will push up through this gate. Yeah, so now these bow cavalry are pretty much done. There's only 18 left from the 2 units. So all he's got left is a couple units of Yari cavalry and this unit of light cavalry and his avatar, who I'm shooting with bows because I don't really feel great about my swords taking him out. I mean, they would get him eventually, but he would do more than his share of damage. So now the lone swords are coming up and they're fighting these dismounted Yari cavalry, which, again, I don't entirely understand why these guys are dismounted. I mean, you've almost been better off letting these lone swords get in here and then get a good charge on them. In any case, so the lone swords are going to overwhelm these guys basically with numbers. And I've still got unengaged katana samurai down below here. So we're just starting to overwhelm the defenses. There's not much he can do at this point. We just have too many men left, and he has too many cavalry units that aren't really as effective as they could be. So yeah, General's now taking bow fire from the other side, although he's going to make my lone swords pay for it. As you see him doing actually quite a bit of damage there. This is the beginnings of a melee general. It looks like he's going to do a lot of damage to those lone swords before they take him down. But pretty much across the board, all the fights basically look like this. Lots of my guys versus just a handful of enemy troops. And just can't hold. Can't hold. These Yari cavalry stayed mounted and actually got a pretty decent charge. So they have 65 kills. They did quite a bit of damage. But there's just too many lone swords left, and I got 2 units of them even in here. Or, I'm sorry, there's a unit of katana samurai came up there. I saw the banner, got me confused. Yeah, they just can't hold in that kind of extended melee for that long. Yeah, and I didn't even really need to burn this gate. It just felt like it needed to be done for completeness' sake. So some katana samurai are capturing the town square, and pretty much we're down to this last light cavalryman who's just going to go ahead and charge in and try to do what he can against my Waco Raiders, who are fairly quickly going to take care of him. Look at him go. I said fairly quickly, guys. Come on, don't make a liar out of me. There we go. And there it is. Mission accomplished. Alright, so the battle results screen now. See, I lost quite a few more men than he did, but of course in a castle assault you kind of expect that. I did deploy nearly, what, well, more than 5 times as many men, almost 6 times as many men as he did. The cavalry defending force didn't make a whole lot of sense to me, so I'm not going to really go over this in too much detail, other than to point out that these Daikyu samurai were doing quite a number on those dismounted bow cavalry, and that most of my katana cavalry did not even get engaged, so I still had quite a bit of strength left. as a reserve. In any case, good game to my opponent, Paulote95. And thank you guys for watching. Please like the video if you like the video, comment, subscribe. And I am Southern Wolverine once again from Shogun 2, wishing all of you a good day.